Lani Wean is here from Mom's Clean Air Force. Will you remind us, especially all of our new listeners, what you guys do, who you are,
Yes,
where you're from?
yes.
You're from the East End of Charleston. Tell us about your organization and what you guys do.
Yeah, for sure. I actually am not from the East End.
Do you not live in the East
I
End?
do. Well, I am in the East End, and I consider it
That's where you're from, dude.
my most home
Yes.
that I've ever considered home. And I'm from Chicago, but I've lived in West Virginia for about almost 5 years. And yeah, I am the West Virginia field organizer for a national nonprofit called Mom's Clean Air Force. We are a group of moms and folks who care specifically about parents and caregivers and anyone really who is taking care of our younger generation, and then also, of course, the younger generation, and their health and safety, specifically fighting for climate justice, fighting climate change. We focus primarily on health and air pollution. So fighting air pollution, whether that is, on the federal level in terms of policy work, or on the ground, we've got organizers in a couple dozen states. So that is what I do. I'm actually the only person employed in West Virginia, and most of our national team is in DC, but then we also have organizers across the country. So I am on the petrochemical team. I am specifically fighting petrochemical pollution in West Virginia, which of course has a very long, convoluted, and destructive history.
And we live in what we call the Chemical Valley.
Yes.
You all had, was there a meeting that you had organized down over in Bell?
Yes.
Tell us about that and how it went.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we partnered with a couple other groups in the area, West Virginia Citizen Action Group, which, if you don't know it, they are exactly what their title says, a citizen action group. They've been around for a long time, as well as the Black Appalachian Coalition. We've talked about Martise. He's awesome.
Martise Washington is
definition of a West Side hero. Yes. And as well as Fair Shake Environmental Legal Services. And the four groups essentially held a community meeting. It was an education and advocacy focused meeting to talk about the new Clean Seas West Virginia chemical recycling facility that is being proposed and currently under construction. It's actually outside of the Belltown limits. It's, I would say, technically in Quincy. It's in the old 84 lumber facility or building that's right next to the Quincy Walmart. And it went great. It went better than we could have expected. We have spent the last couple of months doing outreach, specifically canvassing. I think with CAG, we canvassed like over 1,000 houses in Upper Kanawha County, which was really, really fantastic. We had a lot of really great conversations with people, specifically who have long personal histories, both working for and being impacted by the Chemours facility, formerly DuPont, which is right there.
And they've had some issues at Chemours
recently. Yeah.
It was a night. It was a day. We buried Officer Cassie. And there was the funeral. The memorial service was I think it was at the Coliseum. And then later that night, maybe it was like 7 or 8 o'clock. Everybody in the media, their phones started pinging that there was an incident at Chemours. And for a little while, when you hear there's been an incident at a chemical plant here in the valley, your heart stops for a second. There was a little while where I would imagine that like CW Sigmund and emergency management were on there. They didn't even know exactly what was going on. And we were waiting to hear from CW, but there was about 15, 20 minutes where we were not getting any information. We're like, this is not good. I know somebody died, somebody passed away, but we did dodge. We always dodge a bullet whenever there's an incident. And this is something, it's a fact of life here in the Kanawha Valley. Yeah. We have to be aware of this. Because, these DuPont and everybody employ a lot of folks. I mean, we're grateful for the jobs and everything, but this is an industry where has to be watched and we have to be concerned with.
Totally.
And I think we have some very good people who work at these plants that do good jobs, but we also need people like you to kind of keep them on their toes.
Right.
What people in the community been talking to you about when you have these meetings, like the one you had in Bell?
I think primarily, and the purpose of these meetings is to sort of combat this. But one of the biggest issues that community members have whenever a new facility like this is proposed, we're seeing something similar, a similar pattern with a lot of the data centers and gas-powered plants that are being proposed across the state as well,
Yes.
is they just feel like really left out of the conversation. And so that I think was part of the biggest reason for us holding this meeting. Was we were like, chemical recycling in and of itself, like, is something that I personally didn't even know about until maybe 6 months ago. And it is not necessarily a complicated process. It's not even a new process, but we're seeing like these big chemical companies and these new chemical recycling companies kind of pop up. And West Virginia in particular, and a lot of other rural and historically like very exploited by big industry states and places, like being eyed by these companies because they know that, folks need jobs. We're looking for economic development.
Especially after the extracted energy industry has
totally. I mean,
died.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And they know that they can get past, a lot of the restrictions that they would see maybe in more progressive states relatively easily, based on the regulations that we have at the state level, and even at the county or local level, or the lack thereof, I guess I should say. And so I think folks are really looking for information. They're looking for autonomy. Like, that is really, I think, like my leading drive in this work is like being kind of a middleman to be like, here, like, when you go and look at the Clean Seas website, it's completely greenwashed. They're like, we're recycling plastic. We're turning it into a fuel that can then be used for this, that, and whatever. And really what it is it's a big incinerator. They're taking plastic waste because it's an eyesore. They're burning it. There is a byproduct that's called pyrolysis oil. It's a very like low grade, low quality fuel that is then used as an additive for boat and jet fuels and then burned off, creating more emissions and creating more pollution. So it's, again, like a pretty convoluted process. But really the main reason that they're doing this is to get rid of the eyesore of plastic waste so that big petrochemical, big chemical, and big plastic companies can continue to create more plastic. So they know it's a problem. And this is supposedly their solution, and they're marketing it as recycling. And so for us, like, we really just wanted to put it out there to the public. Like, here's the truth of this. We are not going to sugarcoat it. And we certainly have our personal position, but like, we're not pushing an agenda. We're not, trying to get anyone to think something.
You just want folks to be aware of.
Right. And they
have all the information.
Absolutely. And what you see when you do that is that people here are smart. They care about their families, about their communities. They want things to get better. And when they have all the information, they're like, we want something better than this. We want something different. And like, we don't want this in our communities. We don't want to be duped anymore.
Yeah. 1:14 here on WTSQ. Lani and Sarah, let's take a break. Here's some songs. Come back. One of the things, Lani, I want you to talk to folks about is what can people listening do to either get involved or to keep themselves more aware of and I was listening to some show on NPR, and maybe it was WNYC in New York, where they were talking about the plastic recycling industry, that a lot of the plastics that we think are being recycled are being shipped overseas to really, really, really poor countries. Did I hear, was it Guinea-Bissau in West Africa and other places where the stuff is either being incinerated or just being put into landfills. And this is one of the, we mentioned off air, our friend Scott McMillan and I have talked about recycling many, many, many times. From the city of Chicago, a city that, what have they ever done? That band's called Beach Bunny. They are great. That's Lily Trefilia's band. That song Painkiller. We heard The Cure from the album The Head on the Door. That was Push. And we heard the Bell Stars with Sign of the Times. It's 1:27. Sarah's here. Lani's here. How does it feel, Lani, to be from the second city of the United States?
In general?
Just generally. I'm asking this not as a adopted Appalachian. I'm asking this as a New Yorker.
Okay.
How does it feel? How does it feel to be from the second city?
You know?
You notice I'm asking this when you're so far on the other side of the table. You're not within punching range.
Yeah, I can't reach you.
But you can throw your water bottle.
It feels well, I guess what did I just say? I said I feel cooler now being a West Virginian than I ever did being a Chicagoan.
Now, how do you notice any similarities between where you grew up in Chicago and just folks you meet in West Virginia? Because I have this theory, it's not even everybody's the same.
Yeah.
One of the things I got, and maybe you got this as well, Lani, that when you moved here, your idiot friends and family from back home were like, oh, it must be culture shock.
Yeah.
And I was telling Sarah.
I still get that.
Telling Sarah and Lani just before when Caitlin and I got married here and we were picking folks up at Jaeger or at the train station across the river. And, my more sophisticated folks like my sister Lisa was like, hello, Charleston, let's eat.
Yeah.
Which is what you do. I'm like,
right.
I want to see everything, to like literally folks looking around and like, yes, dumbass, we have electricity. Yes, dumbass, my internet's faster than yours in Brooklyn.
Right.
I have people say, what do you miss about New York? You must have missed this place or that place. I'm like, no, I miss my friends and family who I still talk to 5 times a day because of the phone. We are all the same, you guys. Mm-hmm. I haven't met anybody here. And I have a cousin who lives in a trailer here in West Virginia. His name is Junebug. So I can talk. I don't know if that's on his birth certificate or not, but we are all the same.
Yeah.
So if you're listening right now, if you're listening here in West Virginia or anywhere throughout Appalachia, keep your head up. You are amazing. Just waking up every day, no matter where you are, makes you amazing. But West Virginia, especially here in the capital, this is an incredible. You hear Maya Ross talking about what's going on here. What's today? Wednesday, yesterday, Tuesday, Local Focus Tuesday, where Maya plays music throughout Appalachia, especially in the tri-state area. Like, I'm not saying this. I'd say this to Lani if Sarah wasn't sitting here. No, because I have said this, and there's probably a recording someplace that Damon Cater, our president, has submitted to the Museum of Television and Radio in New York, and they've got the restraining order. You put Hello June in New York, you put them in Berlin or Los Angeles or London, they're still one of the best bands. You do that with any West. We played Rewind the Walkman earlier with their cover of that Mariah song. You say that was a band from New York or a band from LA, and they'd be like, of course it is. Mm-hmm. We have done an incredible job here in Charleston and throughout West Virginia over the last 10 years or so of changing the narrative about West Virginia. Keep on keeping your head up.
Yeah.
Keep being proud of where you're from. If you are adopted, like me and Lani are, sometimes the converted are more insane than the native born. But we have a very, 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 very special place. Lani, what can folks do if you're listening, if your name is not Sarah Rudy from Hello June, which is on her driver's license? I went to Sarah to the DMV, and her driver's license is like a scroll because it's like, is from Hello June your last name? And I was like, yes, it is. Lani,
full legal.
Yeah, full legal. Can you imagine you've changed? Wasn't Macaulay Culkin, because his fans, they had this competition, legally changed his name to Macaulay Culkin. Like, true story. I think I'm going to change my name to Josh Maya Ross Gaffin. Just to,
there you go.
Anyway, I have to get Maya's permission first. Lani, what can folks do to get involved? Mm-hmm. Climate activism is something that we all as a society need to take. It's not something you just hear about on TV. It's not something, climate change. No, there's things that occur locally. And I'm not saying locally in Charleston, it could be locally wherever the hell you are. Mm-hmm. But what can folks in West Virginia do to get involved, to become more aware, or to, just help you with what you do with Clean Moms Air Force, with Moms Clean Air Force? It's
the same 4 words.
Yeah.
I think that there's a few things off the bat. I think that every environmental or climate justice group probably across the country, but in West Virginia in particular, has really easy like virtual stuff that you can do. Signing petitions.
You mentioned Citizen Action Group.
Yes, right. We all have action alerts like that. Moms has a West Virginia page that my email is on, so I'm more than welcome folks obviously signing up as volunteers for moms, contacting me. You can message me on Facebook. You can email me. You can, stand outside my door and wait until I come outside and introduce yourself. Whatever method works best. I might have a couple questions.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Stand outside.
What are you doing after the show? Sarah, what are you doing after
waiting
the show?
outside? And I think in general, the climate justice world in West Virginia is sometimes small, but often mighty.
Like West Virginia.
Like West Virginia in general, yeah. The West Virginia Environmental Council, they do like a monthly green drinks. They also do action alerts. They have all kinds of ways that you can get involved specifically with environmental justice work. Same with CAG. They've got their like First Fridays that they do every month at the CAG House on the East End. And beyond that, I think like if folks are really interested in, it depends what you're interested in. If you're interested in direct action, if you're interested in organizing, if you're interested in state policy or local policy work, there's kind of a variety of different avenues. But I think most of the folks who are working, if not all, in climate justice work in West Virginia have some sort of opportunity in any of those realms.
Even if we all life is whacked lately, and whether you're actually busy with work and your family and stuff, or just you're overwhelmed, but you still want to be aware.
Right.
These are excellent things Lani is suggesting. Hold that thought for 1 second. Our friend Sarah Fox sent us a message a little while ago, just because you guys, SNAP benefits are running, thank God, for now at least, because there's been talk about a potential government shutdown in January, so we'll deal with that later. Today at Element, let me read this properly, you guys. Okay, so one of the many things that was so amazing about Charleston, about the Canal Valley. I can't speak for the rest of West Virginia because I only know what's happening here, and that's barely. Most of what I know about what happens in Charleston is because of listening to the radio station and hearing Dan Hyman, or going to the website and seeing what's going on. When SNAP benefits were cut off, the community rallied. Mm-hmm. Community rallied like I've not seen it before. Last year, I remember when there was the gas crisis on the west side, when there was a water main break and all that water got into the gas lines. People like Martise, mm-hmm. people like Shayla Leffridge, folks like at Our Health Justice and other organizations basically were like, hold my shake, hold my smoothie from Taylor's. We got this.
Right.
People here don't need a lot of prodding to get involved when there's an emergency, but folks in the community are still trying to help people make ends meet and keep everybody fed. How can people get in touch with you for more information about your org? So
yeah, my email is public. It's on the Moms Clean Air Force website, on the West Virginia page, but I'll say it here too. It's LWEAN@momscleanairforce.org.
Now, how'd you come up with that email address?
I didn't. It was given to me. It's very creative. And also, my Facebook is, I honestly hadn't used Facebook for at least a decade before I moved here.
Seriously?
Yeah. And I'm very much back in it. So my Facebook, I reach out to people. I cold messenger them, even before we've actually, anyone's accepted my friend requests, and I'm like, hey, sorry if this is weird. So you're welcome to sorry if this is weird me. I won't give out my phone number on air probably, but if you know someone who knows me, you can get my phone number from them.
I think I might have given out Chris Long's number on here once.
And
Sorry, Chris.
There's a lot of ways. Like I said, you can stop me in the street if you...
Mark Zuckerberg came to Charleston once. He ate at Bluegrass.
Interesting.
And Keely and John Steele, if you're listening, I speak for a lot of us. Please bring Bluegrass back. Please, I beg you. I'll give you my 12th born child.
I wasn't here actually when Bluegrass
was
existed,
good.
but